Rajasthan Royals. Our next match coming up tomorrow versus Sunrisers. In the house, we have Vinay from London. Hi, Vinay.
Hey, Sandy. How you doing? Hi, everyone.
I'm good. I'm Vinay from London. And we have Dinesh from Tamil Nadu. How are you, Dinesh?
Hi, Sandy. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good.
Brilliant. And we have Kabir from Rajasthan.
Yeah, I'm from
there. So we've got a Rajasthan in the house, which is good. And Zahi is calling from Saudi Arabia. Zahi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir? Good.
And we have the man behind the scenes, Rashid from Haryana, Sonipat.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Rashid.
Hi.
So we've got a full house today. And what we'll first do, we'll start off with our magnificent win a long time ago against, who was it again? Who did we beat last time?
Chennai.
Who did we beat?
Chennai Super Kings.
Chennai Super Kings, of course. Yeah, and I'm just saying that because we did predict that we were going to have a stunning victory over Chennai in our preview show. So that was the reason. Okay, Vinay, what was your big take from the game against Chennai?
Yeah, I think, look, we obviously kept them down to a very good total. I think it was, 125, I think it was in the end. They bowled well. I was impressed with the spinners, Gopal and Tuatia. They contained in the period that they were bowling. Archer without fail always delivers. So I think all round bowling wise, it was pretty good to keep CSK to that total. And batting wise, yeah, look, I mean, Stokes kind of did a small cameo, but we need him to really perform if he's going to continue opening. But otherwise, yeah, look, it was a good win and a much needed win, and hopefully the momentum now is with us with these remaining matches to get some points and get up the table.
And Dinesh, was it a RR performance, a great performance, or was it a Chennai poor performance in your
I would say, I mean, both the teams were before the start of the game. Both the teams were actually, I would say, equal in terms of the position that they were actually in. I think, I mean, be it Chennai or be it Rajasthan, I mean, they had their own problems before the game. So, I mean, right before the game, it was looking like the teams were equally poised. But as the game started, as the game actually started, and when the Royals actually started bowling and having controlled them somewhere around 125 is actually miraculous, I would say, for the kind of game that we had been showing up in this IPL so far. And that was actually a great performance from Rajasthan side, but again, some sloppy performance from CSK. But I would say it was a stunning performance from Rajasthan in the perspective of bowling. When it came to batting, the biggest takeaway from the last game is that the middle order had actually risen up. Not much had we seen before when 2 or 3 wickets fall in quick succession like a pack of cards. The rest of the wickets actually continue. But in the last game, we saw Steve Smith and Josh Butler establish themselves very well in the middle, and they actually put a strong hold towards the game, and they just stopped the fall of the wickets. So that's a biggest.
Yes, that's really a good point, and I'll go into that point with Kabir. What did you think Rajasthan Royals did really well with regards to the batting?
With regards to the batting? About the batting.
Excuse me? The batting, yeah, about our batting.
Yeah, so towards the start, I think Stokesy was really looking for the net run rate. I think that's the only explanation about the shots that he was playing. Anyways, but okay, he played a good cameo. After that, Robin Uthappa kind of dodgy innings. But then came Steve Smith and Josh Butler, and that was ultimately the partnership that won us the game. And I think they approached it like a one-day international, and that's why they managed international like, okay, we have 15 overs, we have 7 wickets left. Let's just look for singles and put away the occasional bad ball, and that's exactly what they did. Especially Smithy, he was just looking for the singles, looking to defend every ball. And once Butler got going, then he just got going, and then
yeah, and that's a really good point that you made there, because that's how they did approach it. Because in the other matches, Smith has been tried to be the aggressor and has got out. Yet in this game, he basically set the anchor down, said, "I'm staying here to the 20th over until the job's done." And I think that was really a highlight of that point get out. So fantastic. And Zahid, the fielding.
Yes.
What's your take on the fielding in the match?
Fielding, I feel poor fielding. There are a lot of areas where we have to improve. Actually, fielding is somewhere I think Rajasthan is lagging with batting right now. Bowling has come to we can't say perfect, but yeah, they have improved in the bowling section, especially when JD is out. When we can't say that JD isn't a good bowler, but JD is a good bowler actually. But somewhere in death situation, JD can't deliver. That is an issue. So if you go with bowling also, we are totally dependent on Archer as well.
Yeah.
So I think next match can give a chance to Varun Aaron to see how he delivers. Because last
Rashid,
year,
how did you feel? How did you feel from the performance? Did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the game actually was really well. The bowling done by Jofra Archer was really well. And after losing 4 wickets really quick, CSK, I mean, they had pressure on MS Dhoni and Jadeja, but yeah, the game. And like I'm really I was concerned about the fielding done by Jofra. The 3 drops he made there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
but overall it was a good match, I guess. Yeah.
So we're all pleased. And Vinay, the selection from the last game to this game, what would you change anything?
Because you don't want to really change a winning side. I just feel there is just Samson not performing. Do we make that change? Do we give him that chance to keep on trying to build up a good innings? There's a lot of questions asked on a few of the players, especially when the support for Archer. Is it Rajput? Is it JD? Is it Aaron? I don't think they're going to make any changes. Would I personally make a change? I think the opening, I've always kind of said this in the last few weeks, I don't think Stokes should open. I think you should give Jaiswal or Vora, who's another good player in the squad that needs to go, who's proven from his from his experience. So if it was me, I'd bring in probably Vora in the opening part, and then look to give Aaron a go on the bowling. But otherwise, I don't think they're going to change the team.
Yeah. No, that's true. And Dinesh, would you make a change in the batting lineup as well, and possibly bring Samson to open instead of Stokes?
Yes, actually, Stokes, I mean, nothing has changed right from the discussion that we had for the last match. Stokes has to be in middle order. Just imagine a batting order where Smith, Butler, and Stokes come together, all together in the middle order. Then your middle order becomes unshakable. So that's the kind of strength I want to see. And I mean, in batting perspective, I want to see this change, and I want to see someone like Ora or, for instance, Samson to be opening the innings with Uthappa. So for someone like Samson, who has been inconsistent and who has been struggling to get somewhere and show his skills to have some big blows and hits, I think opening would suit him a bit to regain his confidence and to get back to some runs. And also another big point that I want to make in bowling perspective is that Ankit Rajput had been taken for the last match, and he bowled just that 1 over for 8 runs. And if you're not so sure to pick a bowler who could not bowl his quota of 4 complete overs, then it means that the bowler himself, the captain himself, is not so confident on the bowler. So why to pick a bowler like Ankit Rajput, who the captain doesn't back down? So instead, you could go for opportunities like Akash Singh, who's actually a left-arm fast bowler. I mean, Rajasthan Royals handle had actually posted a video of him bowling those Yorkers, the toe crushers. I think he could bring some mix of Yorkers in the likes of Jofra Archer and Karthik Tyagi. So I think these are the 2 changes that I would like to see.
Oh, brilliant. And talking, Kabir, to you about the bowling. I know you're from Rajasthan, you follow all the younger cricketers. Akash Singh, do you think he should be given a chance, or do you think we should go with Varun Aaron?
Yeah, definitely. I think Varun Aaron may be injured. There was some talks about it in the last game. So I think if we have to make a change, because obviously Ankit Rajput just bowled 1 over. So if you're just going to make him bowl 1 over, you might as well bring in a younger player or someone who you want to bring, give some more opportunities. So yeah, I definitely would go for casting, because even in the under-19 World Cup, he actually was more impressive for me personally than even Kartik Tyagi. So I think he has that potential, and he can really do as much as Tyagi, and they both can grow together for the Royals and Rajasthan.
That's really good. And I think seeing these young players, I'm saying that for the next IPL, the more overs these young players bowl in this IPL, the next IPL in March, they should be ready. We move over to Zahid, and anything that you'd like to change or see with Rajasthan Royals that we should look at?
I would like to go with the last team. I don't know why. Stokes opening with Uthappa. Because the thing is, like, if we put Butler in the opening and if we put Stoke in the finishing, maybe Butler might get issue in opening, because he hasn't clicked this season. Last season, if you look, he was impressive in the opening. So I think I would like to go with him in the opening. And as Dinesh mentioned regarding Jaiswal or Manan Vora coming in, I don't see any other replacement. If they come in, we have to put in either Parag or Tiwatia out, right? So I think that place is fine actually right now. So if these people coming in, yeah, Dinesh, yeah.
Sanju Samson as well can be an option to throw him out.
Sanju Samson, exactly, yes. Sanju, yes. I feel Sanju should be removed. For at least for the next match, Sanju can be removed and Manan Vora. I don't know. I'm like crazy to watch Manan Vora playing. Not even a single match he have played last year as well as this season. So I think Manan Vora is a very good option. Yeah. Manan Vora opening with Uthappa, that would be a good option maybe. But
yeah, I think that's the possibility they could probably do is I personally would like Sanju to open and then Stokes to either move at 3. But again, can they drop Uthappa? Because Uthappa dropping with that stupid shot that he played, that could be a possibility of saying, okay.
We can't have Jaiswal right now because it's a do and die situation for us. Exactly. Jaiswal takes time to play, and also we can't put Jaiswal more in the team. Okay. Uthappa will play. I think Uthappa and Manan Vora should open. Let Ben Stokes go at 6 or 7.
Would you stick to the same team?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Zahi, what he said. I really agree. I actually agree with him, what he says. Yeah. I think, Manan Vora and Uthappa should open tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. And we move on to our opponents tomorrow, which is Sunrisers. Vinay, any key things that we should be looking at for Sunrisers tomorrow?
To contain Warner and Bairstow. Their power play, when they're batting, if they're batting first, they are going to run with it. So we've got to make sure we have Archer supported by Tyagi. That's my preference. He needs to be backed up by a second good bowler. And I wouldn't bowl Ben Stokes in the power play. This is going on the premise of if Sunrisers bat first, because if they can take the match away from you within 6 to 10 overs. So I just feel that if we can contain their batting in the power play, and obviously they've got Kane Williamson. I'm not sure if he's injured from the last match. He was limping in the last match, wasn't he? Some type of injury. But their batting lineup is pretty impressive, top order. If we can just contain that, then I think we'd be in the match. If we bat first, then we've got to set a good total. Which ground are we playing at tomorrow? By the way?
Abu Dhabi, I think. Abu
Dhabi. So Dubai. Okay, so
is it not Dubai? Because I remember having seen. I mean,
it could be Dubai. I can double check for that.
So either way, if we bat first, we've got to make sure we get to the region of 180.
It's got to be Dubai because they're playing Abu Dhabi now, so it should be Dubai.
Yeah. So the key is there. It's setting a good total. But if we're bowling first, containing Sunrisers. Containing Warner and Bairstow, because they're the key men.
And yes, what do you think of bowling spin in the power play? Would you take a couple of overs of Tiwatia or Gopal?
Now, depends on the kind of game that actually the openers are actually bringing in. If you see, Johnny Bairstow is not a good player of the Googlies, I would say. And if you see that Johnny Bairstow is actually going big at the initial stage, then I would surely bring in Gopal, who could actually loop in some deliveries outside off. As we see the other day, Chahal was actually doing the same, and he remains to do the same. It's just looping those fuller deliveries outside off, and anyone who locks at it will actually throw it up in the air, and it would be taken. So that would be the approach. If you see the batsman charging positively, and if the batsman is actually flourishing with the overs of the bowlers like Archer and Tyagi, or for instance Ben Stokes, then it's an option to bring Gopal. But until that happens, no real bring Gopal or Tebatia inside power players. So if you see the openers are actually flourishing, then you can bring in Gopal, ask him to loop some deliveries outside off a bit fuller, so that you could at least stop him from going for runs and you could give him some wickets. So unless that happens, I don't think there's any need to bring the spinners inside the power plays. If that doesn't happen, then you could actually have the spinners operating in the middle overs.
Oh, brilliant! No, that seems very, very logical. And Kabir, would you bat first, or would you want us to chase?
I'd probably bat first, as has been the trend in this tournament. And while batting first, I'd actually look to open with our Butler and Stokes, our Englishmen, because they have inexperienced Indian pacers bowling in the power play. So I think Butler and Stokes can really counter those pacers. And then lower down the order, Samson, Uthappa and Smith, all these are really good players of spin. So they can counter Rashid Khan. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, I say Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan is always in the conversation when we talk about Sunrisers. And I go on to Zahi. Tomorrow, as I say, the bowling attack of Sunrisers obviously is not the top quality. So what's the main fear of the bowling? What do you reckon, other than Rashid Khan?
Rashid Khan as well as Natranjan.
Yeah.
Natranjan Yorkers in the death are amazing. The way that guy bowls, I really love it. Actually, I was one guy who really wanted to see, because in auction and all, I've heard Natranjan is this, that, so and all. So a lot of expectation, and he's one of the good death bowlers. So as Kabir said, even I would also see RR batting first and let Sunrisers chase. Because chasing their bowling, that would be a bit difficult. Last time we did win for this, like Rashid Khan, Tivati had hit, but it can't be the same. So tomorrow, let we bat, and 180, 170, that would be a good score. And we putting up a good bowling attack here.
And Vinay, the pressure, the only thing I'm worried about chasing, batting first, is obviously the death overs. How do you think the death overs, how will we be fair in the death overs? What we got to worry about in our death over bowling?
Yeah, look, the death overs have always been our weak part, isn't it? Where we leaked about 40, 50 runs, I think it's been going at an average. So, look, I mean, there's only Archer. This again, we talk about the supporting second pacer for Archer. Tyagi, I mean, has been sensational. For me, I think he is very talented and he's bowling really well. But we've really got to just contain the death overs, because that's the difference in scoring. Like if we leak another 20 runs, then that makes it very hard to chase. So yeah, key part is to close out those last 4 or 5 overs economically. But then it comes down to making sure that they're bowling the Yorkers, they're keeping the line and nothing too short. It annoys me when they keep on bowling short and we get smacked for 6s and 4s. So keep it on the length, keep it the Yorker, and don't bowl short. That's the key thing for the death part.
That is the mantra for tomorrow. Is for the bowlers is do not bowl short. And Dinesh, going to you again. The middle order of Sunrisers isn't that strong. I think that Manish Pandey doesn't score at a high strike rate, and then they've got some youngsters like Priyam Garg, and they've got Abhishek Sharma, and they've got Abdul Samad who can hit the long ball. Would you top load our bowling, or would you just say, okay, split it up as in the normal plan that they normally do?
No, my game plan for bowling would be like get the initial wickets, like David Warner and Bairstow. Just get those wickets as early as possible and get through the middle order. And Manish Pandey is someone who is not going to go big right from the beginning. So he needs a bit of go. He just rotates the singles. He just keeps the scoreboard ticking and he takes those doubles. So just get through the middle order as quick as possible. And when you are able to do that, stop them from scoring big like fours or sixes. And if you're able to do that, I mean, the pressure mounts and the wicket falls on its own. So that's what I would be suggesting. Get the wickets of Bairstow and Warner as soon as possible. Get through the middle order, mount some pressure. You may not take a wicket, but you may build pressure in such a way that they may not be scoring so fluently. So that is where the pressure gets built, and that's where you get the wickets. And as you told, the middle order is not so strong, but they are so capable. We had seen Prem Garg actually scoring big in one of those previous matches, and Abhishek Sharma, he is capable of hitting. And Abdul Samad, he actually, started his career in this IPL, if I'm not wrong, with a six actually. So they're actually capable of hitting. All they need is a good backing from Manish Pandey. So they rely hugely on Manish Pandey. So get the initial wickets so quickly, get Manish Pandey up the order, as soon as possible. Build pressure around him. That always leads to him losing his wicket automatically. So build pressure. You may not take wickets, but make sure that you build pressure around him so that he succumbs to the pressure. So just exert pressure as much as you can. Get the wickets. Yeah, get the top wickets, and things happen on its own.
Brilliant, brilliant. And Kabir, how are we going to solve our power play tomorrow? What if we're batting first? Should we go out and go out guns blazing, or just take it easy again, get through the 5 or 6 overs of the power play without losing a wicket, and then start attacking? What would be the strategy before the batting?
Yeah, against SRH, like I said before, I think Butler and Stokes should open because Butler is coming off form, and Stokes, he's not exactly an opener, but against the pacers of SRH, the thing I keep repeating, the pacers like Natarajan, Siddharth Kaul, Thampi, Khalil Ahmed, they keep rotating between them, so they don't even get like a consistent run. I think only Natarajan has gotten a consistent run for them. So I think they'll be, and Sandeep Sharma also. So I think they'll be a bit underconfident. And I think Butler and Stokes, this would be the perfect opportunity to get Butler and get Stokes back in form, and to get Butler to continue his form and to get back the confidence as an opener.
And Rishabh, have you watched any of Sunrisers games, and what do you think they do really well that we should be wary of?
I think, yeah, if Hyderabad choose to bat first tomorrow, so I think we need to, get some wickets in the power play as well. Like we saw in the last match with CSK, the spinners were like, obviously Jofra Archer is in the form, and spinners like Gopal and Tavetia, they did really well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that thing also. So yeah, we should get some wickets in the power play. Yeah, but talking about the form of SRH, I think David Warner could be, can play really well. He plays really well. So yeah, that would be, and the Bairstow. So yeah, we need those wickets really quick. Yeah.
And tomorrow, it is Dubai. So Vinay, it's getting those twos, because we've not really got twos. A lot of teams in Dubai, it's not really boundaries that really count. It's the actual twos. So how crucial is the rotating of the strike tomorrow?
Yeah, look, rotating strike is key as well when you're playing in 2020. We all know that sixes and fours is good for the score, but rotating the strike, especially when it's left-handed, right-handed, it just keeps the game flowing. And the more you rotate, the less chance you have with bowlers working you out, etc. So you make it difficult for the bowlers. So yeah, I think with the Dubai ground, with the longer boundaries, it's always good to try and get those twos running fast, running that first one fast. And if there is a second one, then run that. So yeah, the idea is to score as many runs as possible, and twos go a long way to making that happen.
And if we move to Dinesh, the question tomorrow, is it a do or die game for the team that loses tomorrow? What's your point on that?
Yeah, it is obvious. I mean, right from the last game, I mean, just before two games, Rajasthan had been in a position where they're actually in a do or die situation. I mean, it is possible that you can afford one, but you really depend on other teams' fortunes, actually, if you afford to lose one from here. So I would say it's a do or die situation. You just need to take one game at a time. So you just don't need to, I mean, the team's perspective, you don't need to consider that you need to win four or five games from here. You go to playoffs and you shine big. You don't need to think too far ahead. Just one game at a time. So, I mean, you face SRH tomorrow and you make sure that we win it. And so that is how we need to approach. So it's obviously a do or die situation, but just to consider one game at the moment would be the greatest idea for now. So that's how I think Steve Smith and co should be approaching the match. It's a do or die situation, but do not take it too much. Do not get it burdened by the fact do or die situation, but rather take one game at a time. Start winning that one game, and once you win, you just focus to the next game. It's a do or die situation, but it's obviously winnable situation. So that's my take.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And Kabir, as a fan, are you watching all the games in expectation for our nearest rivals to lose?
Yeah. Just today I was watching, and with every KKR wicket, I was just getting happier and happier. And of course, I think they might have lost by now. Have they?
They're 64 for 2.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose.
So, just another 20 runs and they have lost. And again, net run rate, Vinay. How important do you reckon net run rate's going to be?
Very important. If you look at, say, KKR, Rajasthan Royals, Sunrisers, any team that's third, fourth, fifth, sixth at the moment, fourth, fifth, sixth, we could end up having joint points. And so, you've got to make the most of the game situation and really get a good net run rate, because that's what it's going to come down to. You can see that those bottom half teams, everything's so close. One or two wins and everyone starts to climb up the table, go down the table. So net run rate is very, very important and shouldn't be kind of ignored at all. So hopefully with KKR having a huge kind of loss, that should help us in terms of making sure that we continue a very good net run rate.
Yeah, and again, it's one of the things that we've got to look at, Dinesh, is obviously if we win tomorrow, I think Sunrisers will be out of the tournament. What do you think?
Almost. I think end of the day, last season I could still remember the fourth team which had actually gone into the playoffs were actually on a very, very close margin, and that was actually the fourth team which were into the playoffs were dependent on the run rate. So anything can happen. That's what I would say. So a victory tomorrow would anyway close the doors for Sunrisers Hyderabad almost. So let's make sure that we win tomorrow, and we progress. Up and above the points table. And yes, it would be a hard game tomorrow because Sunrisers Hyderabad would always like to win tomorrow and make sure they're alive in the tournament. So it's not going to be easy, but a victory for Royals would actually mean a lot for Sunrisers Hyderabad, as it would be closely shutting the doors of playoffs for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. So let's make sure that we win it tomorrow, and we'll keep it close and shut for Sunrisers Hyderabad.
And Kabir, what do you think is the key battle tomorrow then? What battle are you looking forward to?
The key factor for tomorrow. Okay.
Should I?
Yeah, Kabir,
Okay.
if you could just answer that question.
For me,
my screen has gone funny. What do you think is the key battle tomorrow?
yeah, for me, it's of course Archer versus Warner.
Yeah.
Archer has a flawless record against Warner, so I'm looking forward to him getting him out again. And for our batsmen, Smith and Rashid Khan, because the middle overs are going to be crucial, and Rashid Khan will be the biggest threat for us in the middle overs.
Brilliant. And the key battle for you, Vinay, tomorrow?
Key battle, yeah. Look, Archer and Warner always is how it opens. What sets the tone for the match? yeah, he's bowled him out, I think, already. Managed to get an Xbox, I think, out of that as well. So maybe he's up for 2 Xboxes if he gets Warner out again. So, but yeah, for me, it's Archer against Warner.
And Dinesh, any key battles other than Archer and Warner for you?
Archer against openers. I would not just term Warner. Archer against Bairstow, Archer against Warner. So Archer against openers. That's what I would say.
Personally, I'm looking forward to Josh Butler versus Rashid Khan. I think that could be a key battle, especially if we are either chasing. How they're going to play him out? Are they just going to give him the 4 overs? And are we just going to play Rashid Khan out of the attack and then attack the other bowlers? So that's a key battle tomorrow. But again, as I say, it seems to be a very, very even battle tomorrow. And I think it's going to come down to the minute differentials. If we bowl well in the power play, we do our death bowling well, and we field well, I really feel that tomorrow is a probable victory for us. And that will really, really set the game going into against Mumbai on the Sunday with that extra confidence, because I think confidence is a key part of this tournament. And if you see like Delhi, their levels seem to be dropping a bit. RCB are doing well. They're winning. They won today again. It looks like it, and they seem to be on the up. And Mumbai, again, their position seems to be like they will be fighting to finish the top 2. So if we can win today and beat Mumbai, the other big teams will all have to win the other matches, which will also favour the Royals. So in that sense, I think we can really, really benefit from victory tomorrow. If the Royals play well, on paper, we should win that game tomorrow. But again, the strategy is the key. And if we adopt the right strategy, 1 in the power play, secondly at the death over, and we field well, I really can't see us losing. So a quick one, we've got a minute left. Vinay, your prediction for tomorrow?
Rajasthan Royals win. Comfortable.
Comfortable victory by Vinay. Dinesh, your views, prediction?
No matter how, Royals will win, be it comfortable or be it an unconvincing way, but we'll win it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And Kabir, your views? Do you think it'll be comfortable, or do you think it's going to go to the last over?
Yeah, I think it'll be a last over finish, but yeah, a Royals win.
And Rishabh, do you want to see a super over tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely.
Huh?
Yeah, definitely. I'll win.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to say. Thank you guys for joining us again. Again, part of the show is to connect our fans around the world and also across India, and we're doing that now. So please, please, please follow us on our Instagram page, which is Rajasthan Royals Fans Forum. Also, we have a YouTube page now, which is Rajasthan Royals Fans Forum. And also the Super Royals fan is rr.superroyals. And obviously the Facebook page, which is the Rajasthan Royals Bank Club. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Let's see you tomorrow. And a hala ball! Hala ball!
Hala ball!
Hala ball! Hala ball!
Hala ball.